What's up, gang? PAU, Dodge Truck. Small repair. I'm in a UV Prime. There is a little bit of a spot that they fixed on the tailgate as well, but there's just a couple of scratches. The body guy sanded out. So, guys, go ahead and show you how to do it. Taking it from start to finish. We sanded the tailgate with 800 and Scotch-Brite, gray Scotch-Brite. You'll see that because there's no mud. This is called Bondo slash mud, and this is what needs to be primed over. Um, Probably gonna just do some UV, something real quick and real easy. Got a new Scan Grit UV light that I'm gonna try out. I normally use my Dent Fix UV light, but I'm at Scan Grip at SEMA, and they said they'll send me some products. I was hoping they'd send me like a UV light for like an entire panel, but we take what we can get, right? So gonna try that out. So we'll 500 grit pretty much where the damage is, and then we'll UV prime the mud pretty much, and maybe a couple of the cut throughs, and then I'm gonna 800 grit the rest and red Scotch-Brite. Now, of course, we're starting with some glass cleaner to pre-clean them panels. Make sure our sandpaper go as far as possible and to save as much money as possible. I like to use them red Scotch-Brites to scuff up the edges and also the face of the panel, and that just helps in case if I miss any dirt, any bugs, any debris, or if it has like a ceramic coat on it. It just helps my 800 bite a little better. You should go ahead and try it out. If you're new to this, you should probably stick to using gray Scotch-Brites. Once you're done with that Scotch-Brite, those scratches can shrink back, so you want to go ahead and take some 800 grit. You want to go ahead and sand those out, and you want to make sure you just hit the whole panel. 800 grit is used for blend panels, but some people also use 1000 grit. Next, we got some 500 grit for the damaged areas on my DA. 400 grit is the lowest grit I could base over and Exalta Speed Sector. So we like to do one step up at 500. When using the 500 grit, you want to make sure you go ahead and hit the damage area, as I said before, but also you want to make sure you take care of any rock chips, scratches, or anything else that would be in your blend area. After a quick blow job, I grab some wax and grease remover and I make sure I soak that panel again. Make sure there's no debris, any tar, or anything like that. Jump straight to using my UV primer. I'm using my 3M primer gun, and I'll do 3 coats of Speed Hector UV primer. New light from Scan Grip, giving it a try. We're gonna go ahead and flash this UV at about a minute 20 seconds in between coats. And you just want to make sure it's dry. You can use the back of your nail, but you could, if you rub your hand on it, you can feel it if it's sticky or not, or if it still needs to be cured a little bit longer. I'll grab 320 sandpaper on a block, and then I just make sure I hit the mud or the Bondo area. I'm gonna make sure it's all completely flat. It's not a really big area to hit with the block, but you just want to make sure it's nothing poking up or nothing that's too noticeable. So this area that I'm working is not very critical because the bumper sits right over it, but you still want to make sure everything is a-okay so you don't have to do the job again. After blocking it with some 320, then I grab some guide coat and then some 500 grit on my DA again. Then you just want to make sure you sand all those 320 scratches out. Best way to do it is to use guide coat, and then you just want to sand until you don't see the black chalk anymore. We got one final pre-cleaning with our glass cleaner, just to remove any last little bit of dust before we throw it in the paint booth and to make sure our tape sticks. Once we got her all taped up, we're in the paint booth for our final wipe with our waterborne cleaner. With Speed Hector waterborne cleaner, you can sometimes see where it dries on the panel, so I like to do one rag wet microfiber and then one microfiber completely dry. And then with the dry one, you want to keep wiping until if there's no more product left on the panel. Because sometimes if you let it just evaporate on the panel, when you go to wet bed it or clear it, you can kind of see where you wiped it with the cleaner. So it's a bit weird, but just it's best to be precautious. I'm using my 1500B solve for my waterborne sealer. This gun is mainly for solvents, but I like the way it atomized my waterborne sealer. For base coat, we're using our Exodus Lumaiii 1.3 OP tip. Starting off with almost an orientation coat and using a motorcycle wrist action. We are scooting closer and pulling the trigger a little bit more as we get closer to this blend area or to our damaged area. So once we're done with our motorcycle wrist action, we can go ahead and work on coverage, and then that's when you just don't want to go any farther than when you started at. Next, we do a quick orientation / drop coat. You just want to scoot back a few inches and you want to give it a half a trigger pull, barely letting out any material. You just want to even out those metallics and make sure they all sit nice and evenly on top. We're using our Lumaiii Exodus 1.5 OP tip for clear coat. And we're using Speed's Hector 8600 High Solid Optimum Clear. I'm going to give this baby 2 coats of clear, but we're only going to record 1. Speed's Hector 8600 TDS recommends 1 medium followed by 1 full wet, no flash. I kind of like to do 1 full wet and then 1 medium, and I give it about a 60-second flash. This is at 28 psi, fan all the way open, fluid all the way open, and we glass that baby out. I appreciate it if you made it this far. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you get a chance, or you can even comment and let me know how bad I did. I appreciate you no matter what.